my name is Sammy, and I normally talk about human design on my channel, but today I'm going to talk about a little bit more about who I am. I want to use this as an opportunity to be vulnerable and honest and to share one message with every single person out there. It is never too late to love yourself, and it is never too late. It is never too late to be everything you've ever wanted to be. It's never too late. So about a year ago, I would say about a year and a half, I moved back to St. Louis after I had just been around the wrong crowds. I was really self-destructive. I mean, I was unrecognizable to the person that is sitting here now. If you would have seen me, maybe I would have looked like I had it together, but inside, I felt so broken, alone, disgusted with myself. I was just in so much pain. It's hard for me to even really feel it anymore because I've let it all go, but like, I was in a place where I just felt so unworthy of anything. You know, like there were these things that I wanted, but I didn't feel worthy of them. I thought, this is what I deserved. I deserve people who are destructive. I deserve unloving relationships. I deserve people who leave my life. I deserve to hurt myself. I deserve to abuse myself. I deserve to be this way because I am unworthy of love. I am a failure. My mind would literally completely turn off. I was not even a person because I had held down so much grief and so much trauma. From the moment I had an eating disorder at 14, I had held everything about myself down, just continuing to go and to go and to go and to go, only healing myself enough to keep going. But eventually, you know, I just started making horrible choices, and you know, a part of me enjoyed those choices because I knew that like it would punish me, and I felt like I needed to be punished for how wrong my life had become, for how much I thought that I was just worthless. I just felt worthless. And I looked around and I saw everybody else as like these perfect people, and how like you know, my life was just going to nothing, and I had all these dreams, but I was never able to act upon them because I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like anybody would accept me for who I actually was. I felt like I had to be a fraud all the time. I had to pretend to be somebody for them to stay, or I had to pretend that I was this perfect person. And the moment I messed up, I felt like I had to like amplify my perfection to make up for it, so hopefully they wouldn't see this imperfection in me. And it was because I was afraid of seeing it in myself. So when I got to St. Louis, I made a promise to myself, and the first thing I said was, I want to make friends. This year I want to make friends. And then it became, this year I want to go after my dreams. I want to like try, and I want to actually take care of myself and heal myself and be good to myself and be loving and kind and gracious and patient. And there were many, many, many nights and many, many days where I laid in bed unable to move. There were many nights I wanted to die. There were many nights that I felt like the pain was too unbearable for me to hold. And I felt so lonely that nobody really was there for me, which made me feel like shit about myself. I'm sorry. But eventually, I just surrendered. I decided to not expect anything, to not expect to get better right away, and to not have everything accomplished right away. And that there's going to be days that are hard, and there's going to be days where I didn't love myself or I didn't feel worthy. But it's okay, because I was choosing to have a different attitude. I was choosing to heal. I was choosing to feel these feelings. And when I felt them, those things came up. Those feelings of unworthiness, those feelings of not being good enough, those feelings of loneliness. And for the first time, I allowed myself to feel them. And it enabled me to then come out the other side, slowly but surely, feeling better, feeling lighter, feeling freer. And then I started Reiki, and Reiki opened me up so much. Beginning of Reiki 1, I started A Course in Miracles, and I started to reconnect with this divine love that is within all of us, that I had wanted for so long, and that I had felt so unworthy of. But Reiki gave me this confidence that I was worthy of it. And by the end of Reiki 2, I just knew I wanted to keep going, that there were still things that were holding me back. Physically, my body were stuck. And by the end of Reiki 3, which I just finished recently, I had also gone through Theta Healing Advanced Training. I had begun to build a relationship with God, or Creator, or Source, or whatever it is that you would like to call it, that filled me with so much love, that was indescribable. It allowed me to cry again. Tears of joy would flood me because of the love that I know that each of us have inside of us. The love that we have, the love that is given to us by our God, by the God for every single one of us, by the Creator of all of us, loves each of us so much. There is no hatred, there is no anger, there is no fear, there is no shame, there is no hell or evil. It is just love. Love is the only truth. And when you realize that love is literally the only real thing, everything in your life just flows. Just flows. I get to work with my Reiki teacher now in the same office with 3 other amazing women who have literally accepted me, allowed me to be myself as a projector. They have invited me into their space. They have literally accepted me with open arms. And they saw me, and they saw my abilities before I could. They showed me what love should look like. They have given me more than they will ever know. And to just be sitting here now, after a week of putting my office together and knowing that one of my goals this year was to move outside of doing human design readings, theta healing, and intuitive healing, and Reiki healing online to in person, because I felt like the community was important to me. That I get to move into the space of my dreams, surrounded by people full of love and full of light, that you just walk in the door and you hug them and you are instantly reminded of divine love. I mean, and I feel so worthy of all of it. Like, because I always was worthy of it. I was always worthy of all of this stuff. I was the one holding myself back. I was the one who was internalizing and not realizing that I had everything I needed within me. And when you start to love yourself, God, does your outside 3D world become so full of love. So full of love. I'm just utterly grateful. And I just really wanted to share this, not as a brag, not as some way to talk about my services, but to tell you that you are worthy. You are so worthy. You know, in human design, I have the channel 2551. I mean, I literally love universally. I love everyone. I love everything. And people sometimes don't understand that. But I do. I really do. And so anybody out there who just feels like they are unworthy or they don't see love in themselves, I am telling you that I choose to see that for you. And I refuse to see any of the deception in the ego mind that you have created for yourself, because I choose to see you as love. Because you and I, we are one. Your heart is my heart, and my heart is yours. And our hearts are all connected and all love. Thank you for listening.